Sometimes I wake up, I'm like, go me. I have a shadow, go me.
Welcome to Mek Sense with Melzy, where we make sense of the world that we live in through real culture conversations around relationships, friendships, getting that money, just to name a few. Make sure you tune in because we've got some fantastic episodes coming up, so you're not going to want to miss out. So on today's show, I've got my spiritual sister. She is a confidence coach. She is an amazing woman and she had to grace my podcast as one of my earlier guests, Miss Lian R Jacobs.
That was a sensational introduction.
Oh, thank you, friend. Thank you. I've had lots of years of practice. How are you today?
I'm really good. I can't
Amazing.
complain. Looking forward to the next few weeks and months. Got a few things coming up, but we're going to get into that.
We're going to get into that. So, of course, you're a confidence coach. So today, guys, we are going to be looking at confidence. So let's break it down for the audience first and foremost. What does confidence mean to you?
Confidence to me is a strong belief in something or someone. So something that you can rely on, something that you can tap into, that you are like sure about. You have a heavy conviction about something. So that often what confidence or where it comes from.
And do you feel like everybody's born with confidence? Do you think it's something that we learn along the way, along the journey?
I think it's nurture. Some people might think it's nature, but I think it's nurture. I feel like your surroundings, even from a child, can really impact and influence how your confidence either grows or is stunted. I also think that life experience can help you evolve with your confidence. I also think some people are fueled by the things that they've gone through in life that causes them to be confident. I also think that some people have fake confidence.
Oof. Whoa, fake confidence.
I mean, you said we're gonna make it make sense, right?
We're gonna make it make sense, girl. And as you said that, I'm like, has there been any situation that I can think of where I've had fake confidence? And I would actually agree that yes, especially like in a job interview. Like I've interviewed jobs that I'm not qualified for.
And you know what? Fake confidence is not always a bad thing.
Okay.
So I've said it like it might be a bad thing. There are situations where I think it could be quite negative and quite toxic. But going in an interview and, you know, selling yourself as the best version of you that you actually know you probably can achieve, I don't think that's fake confidence. I think there are the society we live in now where everything is based on social media and likes and things that are quite instantaneous. That can often provoke this fantasy confidence where you are being validated and valued by what you have and not who you are. So what happens when you don't have certain things that have built your confidence? Does that mean you are less of a person? How does that impact your confidence? So some of the things that I've seen even recently of people posting their houses, and I'm all for people, get your bag, get your money.
Get your money.
I'm all for that. But there's no harm in showing a process. There's no harm in showing like parts of your life that are not amazing every single day, because the reality of it is we don't just gain confidence when we go through good. We gain confidence when we go through bad.
That is true. That's quite an interesting point there, because I think the things that we go through in life, whether it's trauma or pain or those kind of things, you have to build character during those periods of time.
Absolutely.
Like any time that there's a struggle, there's always a lesson in there. Yeah. It's going to build your characteristics. It's going to build you as a person, which then develops into confidence.
Exactly.
So that's quite key, that is.
Exactly. And like, if I'm completely honest, me becoming a confidence coach was born out of a bad season, a bad place in my life, was made redundant. Was like, do I want to work 9 to 5? Like, what am I good at? And the only thing I was good at was talking to people.
You are a chatty patty.
I'm a chatty patty.
You were a chatty patty.
Talking to people, speaking, preaching, that's my bag. And I was like, how can I make that a thing that's more personable? How can I sit with people, not just women, all people, and help them to see like how amazing they are, the qualities and the gifts that they're born with and that they can continue to work on to be the best version of themselves, because they deserve it.
Yeah, they do. And I think a lot of work that I've done with people is confidence work. Like I think for some people, they don't see their skills, like you said, they don't see their potential. Maybe someone's told them that they're not worthy of doing something. And I'm quite good at like instilling confidence into other people. And it might just be like a confidence thing where it's like, you look good. you look great. You sounded really amazing today. You're really good at your job.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the times we be in our own heads.
Absolutely.
And mental health is a real thing.
And it's easier if I was to say to you, can you tell me 10 things you love about yourself?
I can do that.
Okay, let's do it.
I love my lips. I absolutely love my personality. I think that's like the best thing about me. I love my tatters.
Yes.
Is that a skill?
Yeah. I just said the things you like about yourself.
Okay, things I like about myself. Okay, my tatters. I like the fact that I'm a loving person. I like the fact that I am open to new experiences. I like the fact that I can do things by myself and be confident in doing that without needing anybody else to be with me. I like my face.
What number are we on? 6?
7, I think.
Okay.
I like my face. I've got the pretty privilege.
Yes. Thank you, God.
Praise you. What else do I like about myself? I like how I'm able to speak life into people. I feel like that's a really special gift.
Definitely.
And I've probably seen the effects of that, seen like a person be flat on the floor, but with a little bit of a motivation speaking, a little bit of planning, a little bit of support, to see them change their lives around kind of makes my heart warm. So I feel like that's something that I love about myself.
Is that number 9?
I think that's
number 8.
8.
Seals.
I love the fact that I'm a great presenter. I'm a great speaker. I think God's blessed me with that, and I'm very, very thankful that I can get myself in or out of a situation.
That's right. You can't just get yourself in. You need to get yourself out sometimes.
Get yourself out sometimes. So having that gift of the gab
Yeah.
is a whole thing.
Absolutely.
What's the last one? Oh my gosh, I'm struggling now. You've really put me on the spot, Lian. How rude.
I'm a coach. This is what I do. Let's stick to 9 because that was a solid 9.
Okay.
How did it feel saying those things out loud to somebody else?
I feel like we don't say enough as people what our skills and aspirations are or what we bring to the table. Because
How did it feel?
for me, it felt difficult to really think about it. But it didn't feel that bad because I know myself as a person, so I could pick out a handful of things that I know.
And if I asked you to tell me 5 things you don't love about yourself?
Lian, is this a counselling session?
You asked for the confidence coach to come on. I mean...
5 things I don't like about myself. I don't like the fact that I procrastinate. I don't like the fact that I can be stubborn sometimes. I can be petty, babe. Like, I won't trouble anybody, but don't come for me unless I said for you.
You heard it first.
You're really putting me on the spot right now on my podcast, Lian.
You're making it make sense.
Making it make sense. Another 2 things that I don't like. Oh my gosh, you've got me really in my head right now.
Okay, let's look at the 3. How did you find that?
Probably easier.
So my point here is that even though 1 was double the amount, when it comes to positives, we find it challenging. When it comes to finding negative things, that was still hard, even though you did a third of the amount. And I think my point when it comes to confidence is that we need to get the balance better.
Yeah.
So we want to be doing a bit more of that. It's easier to say good things about myself and affirm myself than it is to always be picking out the things that I know I don't like or that make me feel uncomfortable or that other people have said and it's just stuck. And actually some of it is not true. So I essentially help people get from A to B. So if you want that scale to be tipped, I help you do that.
Yeah.
You know, like when you get on a coach, like I'm not going to say the coach name because we're not being sponsored. But if we were, think about how a coach literally gets you from A to B. That's what I do.
And I think a lot of with a coach as well, they ask quite a lot of questions. And a lot of people are not comfortable with asking questions or even answering questions.
Yeah, and I only coach honest people.
I think sometimes people find it difficult to be honest with themselves though. Like, sometimes we put on a poker face where we give the world this kind of person. And then sometimes behind closed doors, you're someone completely different. And I feel like, especially with social media world at the moment, like people are putting out this confidence or they're putting out their content and then you meet them in a real life and it's like, girl, where you at, girl? Where you at? You're not giving the same energy that you're giving online that you are face to face. And for me, that's about being authentic. Like, I want people to get the authentic me on my podcast, on social media, but I want them to be able to meet me and be like, oh my gosh, Melzy's still the same vibe, still the same person.
Because when you're presenting that fake confidence, or when you're presenting not the authentic version of you, who values from that? If you lie to me in a coaching session, do you know who benefits? Just me, because I'm making money. You do not benefit from the session or from the process unless you're being honest with yourself.
But then how do you get someone to be honest with themselves?
I guess we have a formal conversation. We have a chat. We talk about like where you are at. There's also a little bit of a gifting where I just kind of know if some things feel untrue. And I will question, I'll ask how you feel. And I guess it's easier for people to be honest with feelings than maybe facts. So if someone says they're uncomfortable about a certain thing, I know that area might be more likely where they're going to tell an untruth. Whereas when they're more comfortable, they're more likely to be honest. So it's just picking up how people are. The more time you spend with people, you get a vibe about like how they present themselves. And some of it is just taking time. Some of it is a learned skill. Some of it is some people are genuinely ready to be honest. And because our conversations don't go anywhere, you can say what you want in our space. When you leave, you can go back to whatever that person is. But if we're going to do the work, let's do the work.
But I feel like that's the problem. People don't want to do the work because doing the work means I've got to go to a dark place. I've got to open up a can of worms. There's conversations that I have that are going to be quite difficult that I might not be emotionally ready for, which then blocks them from being that confident person.
Well, I guess that's a therapist conversation. I'm a coach. So when we get into deeper understanding of maybe why and where, some of that might not be worked out in our space. Our space is more strategy. So you want to get to feeling more positive about yourself. What's the strategy that we're going to create together to get you there? The feelings you have based on all of that is what you probably need to look into therapists, counselling, because that has a deeper network of and body of thoughts and feelings and stuff. I don't delve into that because I'm not qualified for that. But in terms of getting you from A to B, I can help you get there.
I love that. So kind of like, what would you say would be your top 5 tips to make the right steps to being confident?
The top 5 tips. First of all, you need to believe that you are enough.
Gotta believe it.
And that sounds like it's a big thing. This is not a little thing. Believing you are enough. That takes time. It takes you doing, like, for example, I have a client who will put affirmations around their mirror.
Love that.
Every morning they're getting up and she will say, I'll fake it till I make it, because half of the stuff she hasn't believed, but little by little we're seeing the progress. So she can say things that she couldn't say before about herself, and it's due to these affirmations. And sometimes it's about repeating a thing until it sinks in. Repeat it, do the thing over and over again until it becomes a discipline. When it becomes a discipline, it becomes part of your life.
Say if you are a young person, you've been brought up by parents that have not believed in themselves. You might have an ideology or an idea that you're going to be this air hostess or do this amazing job, but you've gone through your life being around people that have constantly told you you are not good enough to do what you think you can do. How are you supposed to deal with that kind of situation?
There's a couple of things. So we have to address what we call limiting beliefs. So what are the things that you've heard or experienced or taught yourself, spoken over yourself, that limit your experience of the best version of you? We talk about those, we write them down, we rip up paper, however you want to do it, we address those, we talk about those. And there's something really freeing about expressing and being honest about what those have been. So for example, when I was in year 4, I remember it.
Oh, do you know?
In year 4, Mrs. Powell, if you're watching, God help you. She said to me that I was a nasty piece of work. I will never forget it.
Like, oh my gosh.
I'm 33. How old are you in year 4? Like 9?
9?
I remember it.
What's her name?
Mrs. Powell.
Mrs. Powell. This is a message for you, Mrs. Powell. As a teacher, you should not be saying that to any of your students. Because as a teacher, you're supposed to encourage, you're supposed to support, you're supposed to give young people the opportunity to be whatever they want to be. How are you even saying that to my brethren? But look at her now.
Look at me now.
That's for you, Mrs. Powell.
Don't worry, my dad went down there and dealt with that. But the point is,
Sorry, friend.
The point is that I remember that so clearly. And I use it as a point of example of that trauma of that one comment followed me for a little while, not too long, but a little while. And I guess so looking at the limiting beliefs, what other things that have been spoken, then also addressing the circle. Because if you're telling me that it's a circle of people that you're constantly around, how do we get you away from that circle? What does it look like for you to create your own community that is empowering, that is safe, that is championing you when you can't even champion yourself? And because of the world we live in now, if it's a young person, then they're Gen Z or they're Gen Alpha, which means that they're the most globally connected. So they can be friends with a person in Hong Kong. They can be friends with a person in America. They can create their own community.
Right.
And obviously we have to be careful as parents or guardians of what that looks like, but they can create their own community where they're empowering each other. That person can set the culture. It's just about them spending enough time disabling the limiting beliefs in order to get to a place where they're like, no, actually, from what I've learned, this is how I want to live my life. This is the kind of people I want to be around. This is the kind of influence I want to have. That person has the power to do that. And it's just finding different ways, because everyone, I guess, learns differently, wants to be coached differently. So I guess it's quite bespoke at times, but those are probably the two things I'd focus on immediately. Then from there, we'd go through what we feel needs to happen next. So I don't plan all my sessions from beginning to end. It's very much a journey, which is the fun part about it.
Yeah, and is it an individual journey, would you say?
Yeah, definitely individuals, because we all, you might start something and realise, actually, I want to talk a bit more about family, or I want to talk a bit more about work and how I relate to people in those. Do you know what I mean? It could just change, and you need the flexibility to be able to get to from your A to your B in a way that's comfortable for you, not for me. That's not how it works.
And I really wanted to pick up on that point of having the right people around you. A lot of people struggle to actually meet friends. Some people don't even have the confidence to even have a conversation with somebody. And I didn't really realise it until I probably got a little bit older, and people were like, oh my gosh, Mel, you're so confident. You just go up to someone, you just go and speak to someone. Even if there's a situation, they'll be like, Mel, can you go and speak to that person? Because I don't really know what to say. Where does that kind of energy stem from? And how do you become more confident to just speak and make new friends?
I think it's situational. So it depends on the person. It depends on what situation they find themselves. If it's a thing where the person absolutely has fear, anxiety about speaking to people, then yeah, we probably have to start from real small baby steps. What is it like to say hello to your neighbour? What is it like to maybe, and it depends on social media as well. If you're a person that prays and doesn't post, and because you're fearful, what is it like for us to come up to a place of your confidence where you can post? Because you're still saying something. You may not be saying something, but you're saying something. So what does it like to explore avenues that mean you can say something in a way that's really comfortable for you? Some people might want to do poetry. Some people might want to, do you know what I mean? There's just so many different ways that people can say something to build their confidence. And sometimes it just takes for you to have known that someone heard you, that someone identified with you, that someone thinks you're amazing, someone read your poem or your blog and actually they related to it. That stuff builds confidence.
And I do feel like speaking to people is a big problem. There's so many people that are not comfortable speaking in front of crowds or not speaking in front of a lot of people. But for me, it's just always been a natural thing, which I still don't know where it stems from. I just think I was just set this way.
Yeah, absolutely. God set you that way. And that's absolutely fine.
Good, set, ready.
And also for some people, so for myself, I'm confident. I'm quietly confident.
Right.
So
I'm loudly confident. I'm in your face.
I'm not. But we're both confident.
Yeah.
And my confidence is quite unassuming. But I like that. I think I've just learned to embrace that, actually. Just how I am.
Do you feel like you can be confident in different areas as well?
Absolutely. So some people will never go for a job they're not qualified for, or they know they could do, but I don't have, the majority of the things on the JD or the person specification. Some people won't go for that. But in other areas of their life, maybe relationships or in networking, they are going for it. There's other people that are the complete opposite. They'll be good in relationships but will never go out for the job they want or try the new venture they want for fear or whatever that looks like. So I definitely think it can be compartmentalized. And some people are just confident across the board. And that could be for a number of reasons. Some people are pushed into making the choice to be confident. Like, situations have led them to be like, I'm going to have to do this. So the confidence just kind of, it just comes.
Just comes.
It comes out. Because
Do you think we should tell them about how you pushed me to be confident the other day?
yes. Yes, I do. Confidence coach.
So me and Lian was out having some dinner, doing what we was doing, and she persuaded me to go and speak to someone that I wanted to speak to. Now, I'm like a very confident person, but there's areas that I might not be necessarily confident with. Do you know what I mean? So this was someone that I liked. I can't believe I'm saying this on my podcast.
It's all good, girl.
So it was someone that I liked. And Lian was like, just go over and just speak to them. And I was like, no, like, don't make the first move. You know, I'm confident, but I'm not that confident, because nobody likes to be rejected.
Of course.
Like, rejection's a problem for me. But anyway, I did it anyway. I was feeling myself, whatever. Went up to this person, whispered in his ear slightly. And it worked, guys. It worked. We got the result that we needed to get. But I feel like if you wouldn't have pushed me in that moment and said, just go and do it, I probably would have never have done that, despite being the confident person that I am today.
And it's funny because if it was most other people, I wouldn't have done that. But because I know you have it in you to do, me saying to you, just go and do it, because I know you can just go and do it. Whereas if you weren't like that, I would never have said go and do it to make you feel uncomfortable. It's because I know I've spent enough time around you.
Yeah.
You're a host, you're a speaker, you're beautiful, you're intelligent. There's no reason for you not to go and speak to that person. So because I don't have limiting beliefs around what you can do, I pushed you based on my own assessment of what you can do.
Thanks, friend. High five. And I feel like it goes back to what we were saying in terms of having the right support network around you. Because having the wrong set of friends can lead you down a road of destruction. Having the wrong man can lead you down the road of destruction. We've got to be using our instincts. We've got to be using our energy. We've got to be vetting people before even letting them in our circumference.
Yeah, DCRB. DBS, sorry.
DBS.
CRBs back in the day. Sorry, to show my age.
You got to do DBS. You got to do I can't even say that word.
Do diligence.
Do diligence.
Yes.
Do
Diligence.
due diligence.
There you go.
There we go. So one tip was believe in yourself. Second one
believe
was
that you're enough.
Believe that you're enough.
Yeah.
Second one was have the right support people around you.
Definitely.
What would you say the third thing was?
Third thing is affirmations. So finding things that you really like about yourself. Could be one thing that you repeat to yourself all the time, but having it as like a record played in your life, like something that underpins your life. Like, I'm beautiful, I'm strong. Like do the things, fill your head with positivity, because you'd be surprised how much we attach ourselves to things that are not true about us, things that are negative, things that don't make us happy. Why do we lean to that side more than the other? No. Affirm yourself. If you don't know how to affirm yourself, go on YouTube. Go find something.
Like, write something down.
Yeah. It starts there. Like, for me, I remember being in a time where my self-esteem was just shot. And because I'm a Christian, and like growing up, we, believe the Bible, believe what it says and stuff like that. But I was like, there ain't gonna be nothing in here that tells me that I'm X, Y, and Z. And one day I thought, let me challenge myself. I'm gonna look through, not the whole Bible, because that's long. I'm gonna look through a bit of the Bible, and try and find things that God says about me that I can believe for me, because I believe that God doesn't lie. So if God says them about me, they must be true. And I went through the Bible, like finding things, and essentially they became my affirmations, but it was the word of God. So for me, that helped me to empower myself in a way that wasn't just coming from me, because there are going to be days where I don't feel these things.
Of course.
And if I lean on that, I won't push myself to be confident. I won't push myself to show up as the best me every time I enter a room. And I refuse to do that. Life is already hard.
Life be lifing.
Right. So I use these things to underpin my life. And I'm not saying I don't have days where I don't feel confident. I wouldn't lie to anybody about that. There's days where I'm just like, I can't do this.
I'm sick of me.
Literally.
No, it gets like that.
But I have a circle of friends that will not let me sit in it for long.
Yeah.
And because of that, I'm like, I'm probably always going to be unassumingly confident, because I have people that, even when I don't see the gold in me, they're like, do you know who you are?
Yeah.
Like, do you know how amazing you are? And yeah, the people support is big.
And I feel like that's a key. Again, I know I keep going back to like support and stuff like that, but I think it's important to make and create like your brother circle, your sister circle, whatever that might look like, because that's your chosen family.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's your chosen family,
Which is
which is a beautiful thing. So I just think having the right people around you is so critical to your development as an individual, your growth, where you're going in life, the direction. The wrong person in your ear could be a shutdown for your whole situation. So how can we be a little bit better at picking the right people to have in our circle?
Watch.
Ooh, I like that.
Listen. It's not always what people say. Sometimes it's what people don't say and what people don't do.
Woof.
That's going to speak a lot louder than what people say, because people are always going to say, oh, I'll always be there for you.
Really, bitch.
I'll always be there for you.
Really, girl.
Like, when you're low, I'm going to be there.
Really, girl.
And then what happens is, when you're low, you can't find nobody.
You can't find nobody. Nobody's here.
But actually,
Nobody's here.
It's the people that are just consistently there. And then when you are low, they're still there. They don't have to say anything. They're just going to be there. Those are the people you need to be hanging on to.
When shit hits the fan and things are really, really bad, it is when you see people's true colours, whether it's family, friend, man, anything. That's when you see people's true colours. Because when you're down and low, that's when you need the people the absolute most. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. And you'd be surprised who shows up for you.
You'll be surprised.
It'll be the most unlikely.
It's the people that you don't expect to show up for you that will show up. It's crazy.
It is insane.
I had a illness. I had this condition called a overactive thyroid. It's kind of like a hormonal imbalance where it's like being on your period 24/7.
Oh God.
Like you literally wake up crying and you don't even know why you're crying. And it was quite a difficult time for me, like probably one of my most traumatic things that have happened to me personally, because I'm quite like a chatty person. I'm very much outgoing, but I physically didn't have the energy to be that person. So it was literally like I was in someone else's body. And I probably didn't really know how to explain that illness to somebody, because it's not something that you see.
Right.
So maybe it was hard for people to understand. So that's probably why I didn't really talk about it that much. But again, the people that showed up were the people that showed up. And it was quite surprising to see that. And I never forget, I was on BBC West Midlands at the time. Had a little evening show. And I remember going to do my show, giving all of this mad energy, because understand, being confident, being a talker takes so much energy out of you. And when you're talking for a job, then you're talking for your side job, then you're talking to people, I'm done talking.
Right.
I'm done talking.
Right.
And I never forget one of the days where I did a show. And after the show, I got home, I crashed. I was sitting on my sofa in silence, because I literally had not an ounce of energy left in my soul to even call people back, to even have any kind of conversations. So for me, that was like a really, really difficult time for me, where my confidence was literally on the floor. But you guys would never even see this on social media, because I was still posting, I was on BBC, I was still putting on a poker face, which a lot of us do. But my confidence was on the floor. And I lost so much confidence during that period of time that it wasn't until I started therapy and my therapist was like, you realise that was a really, really traumatic experience. And the way you're rushing and doing things now is making up for lost time. I don't even know I'm getting emotional. This is not the kind of podcast I was going to do today. But yeah, it was just a really, really difficult time. But I'm grateful for the people that were there, that did lift me up, that did speak life into me. Because there was days that I didn't sleep.
Yeah.
Purely because this chemical imbalance.
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't let you sleep. You'd be up all night, sleeping in the day, you know, crazy waste cadet friggin' routine. In my head, I'm thinking you're being a waste cadet. But in actual fact, I'm on medication that I'm taking every day to balance this shit out. Yeah. So for me, it was like super, super challenging. I lost all of my confidence and I had to regain that. I had to get back to my normal self. So like, how do we deal with illnesses and things that we don't have control over that changes who we are as a person?
I guess some of that stuff is going to be down to medical support. So the doctors, dietitians, they play their part in what that looks like to build that back. However, there's something around celebrating what you're good at. Because there's things that you're good at that are not dependent on whether you are well or not. So for example, you're good with people. That can happen whether you're ill or well. You could be in a hospital and still be good with people. But have you recognized that you're good with people? So it sounds crazy, but create a list. Homework. Create a list of the things that you are good at. It's not big-headed. It's not arrogant. It's not cocky. It's a celebration of you and the things that I believe God, whoever you might believe, has given you. So you're good with people. All the things you listed, that should become part of you should be able to reel it off because you celebrated what is in you. And people don't realize that gratitude, celebration, all that kind of stuff is good for mental health. And sometimes you could be physically ill, but if your mental health is good,
you're flying. If your mindset is 10-10, you can achieve anything.
But if you're constantly telling yourself, oh, look at me, I'm sick, I'm this, I'm that, or the limiting beliefs.
And that's what happened. And I had to kind of rebuild myself up. And even with like my confidence as well, like I find that a lot of people are intimidated by my confidence.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's happened like throughout school, college, university, working life. It happens in every single area of my life where there's certain people that are intimidated by my confidence. They don't really know how to take me. Now, at this big old age, I know that's a you problem, not a me problem. But sometimes it does make you want to, what's the word?
Minimize
where you're being confident and where your energy's being spent. Because sometimes you can put yourself in spaces where your energy is not even reciprocated, appreciated, or even celebrated.
Facts.
The way I've stopped talking. And the way people have got not even a glass to bring to the table.
Not even a napkin.
Not even a fork. Not even a side dish.
Yeah.
You know, you're the bad bitch that was confident. But yeah, Shaniqua is intimidated by your confidence.
That's nothing to offer.
But she has nothing to offer. Make it make sense.
It's not. It's not making sense.
It's not making
and
sense.
For people like yourself and people that might identify with that kind of confidence and having people that are maybe intimidated by that, you also have to navigate what it looks like to protect yourself in those spaces. So that means that not everyday fight.
Not everyday fight. You got to pick and choose these battles.
You got to pick and choose because it's draining on you.
It is.
And you don't need that.
You're right.
So even for myself, who's quietly confident, it can also, I still intimidate people by being quiet. Imagine that. Just sometimes it's just a presence thing. Sometimes you can have an aura, a presence about you that people know you in the room. I'm one of those people.
We're one of those people. When we arrive in a room, you gonna feel our presence. You gonna feel the energy, the femininity, the beauty, the confidence, the spirituality.
And that's okay.
God's hovering over here, mate. And you are right in saying that. Like, I walk into rooms and shut shit down. And it's not even by purpose. It's just how the things set up. It's literally just how
And you have to
it's set up.
accept. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you get to a place where you're like, I understand that this is how it is for me and the journey God's put me on. Something about it is like, you can sit back and relax.
You can sit
you
back and
actually
relax.
can't. If you change it, you're then minimizing. You don't have to minimize. You just navigate it in a way that's really comfortable for you.
But just going back onto the illness really real quick, because that probably was a time that I was probably talking a lot of trash about myself, whatever. And it was a process to kind of get out of that and rebuild that confidence up. I know what I bring to the table. I know what kind of love I've got to give people. I know I'm a great friend, sister, daughter. Like, I know myself as a person to the extent where you can't minimize this.
Right.
God made me in his image.
Come on.
And I'm one of the leaders. But I do think there's an element of, like you said, protecting your energy. Because sometimes when you are confident, people will suck that energy out of you. I call them energy vampires. They will call and say, can you do this? They will call and say, will you do that? But then as soon as something hits the fan and you try and call them,
Do not disturb.
do not disturb. Don't call me. On silent. Got
Lock
nothing
off.
to offer. Everything lock up.
Everything. Yeah.
And that makes you sometimes not want to give that out anymore. I have to have days where I need to be alone, and
But it's very normal to like take yourself away. That means you're actually an introvert.
see, this is the thing. I feel like I'm half extrovert and half
Actually,
introvert.
hold on. Actually, that means you're ambivert. But
Oh, there's a third one.
how do you get energy? So where do you get energy from? Is that
Sleep.
Jesus? Don't we all? As in, outside of sleep, where do you get? So do you get energy when you're around people or when you're alone? So like you're recharged. Would you prefer to recharge like being in a group of people, do something, or would you prefer to be alone to recharge?
I genuinely feel like sometimes I need to sit in my house and be quiet and not talk.
What's the preference? Like, what's the thing that you naturally do if you want to recharge?
Be at home.
Alone?
100%. I mean,
So that's
it depends.
No,
on
no,
that.
no.
Oh, well, I
No,
don't.
I mean-
it depends what kind of recharge.
no. Not that kind of
What-
recharge, girl. So that means that those are the tendencies associated with an introvert.
What?
Introverts recharge alone. Yeah,
And extroverts.
people. They as in they get their
Really?
energy from people. Yeah.
So can I be like half introvert and half extrovert? 'Cause I
They
do
call-
think I
they
am
call
that.
ambivert.
I'm an ambivert because I do like my own space. I do like my own space, you know. Like I do like my own space, but then like lockdown was great for me. And I know that sounds really bad.
Every now and again, I wish I could just lock down myself.
Lockdown, it was so needed. But for me, because I'd done 2 years lockdown before that,
Right.
because everybody else stopped, that gave me more mental space to catch up, because sometimes you feel like you're far behind. And I was depressed. I had low self-esteem. I was sick. It was hard. Like, it was hard. A lot of people probably don't even know this, you know, but we share our pain to inspire others. That's what we do around here.
No pain is wasted.
No
experience
pain is wasted.
So.
Right. So we went from believing in yourself.
You're good because now I'm going to be like, I remember what I
I
said.
don't remember what I said, but I remember, girl. Believing in yourself.
Yes. No, believing you're enough.
Believing you're enough. Supportive friends. Did we have a third one? Wait, let me
We
think.
did have a third one. The third one, I think, was linked to the health one. So around
Health,
making
mental health.
A list
Affirmations.
Of things. There you go.
Affirmations is number 3.
Yep. Number 4. I guess it's doing the things you like. So this one's more of a doing. So the rest of them are like reflective, writing, like actually then taking a leap to do something. So I can say, I want to be more confident in talking to people, but if I never talk to anybody and I just affirm myself saying, I can do it, and I never do it, something's wrong, okay? So the thing is to go and do. Could be a small thing, like, as I said earlier, I'm going to talk to my neighbour. when I see them. I'm not going to knock on the door, but when I see them, I'm going to say hello, how are you? Or I'm going to talk to not a stranger, but someone I don't know, someone at my university, someone at work that I've not spoken to before, and just start to build up the confidence. You have to do. At some point, there's a risk and you got to jump and say, you know what, today I'm going to try. It might go really, really well.
So action's a must. Because we can do all the affirmations, we can read the Bible, we can pray, we can write down goals, we can do all of that. If you're not acting on the things that you say you're going to do, ain't nothing gonna happen around here, girl.
And you can do all the affirmations or the thinking or the reflection, but how do you prove that what you've done is worth anything?
And what she means by that is, if you go to the gym and don't do any work, that is not action.
Right.
Okay? If you are at home saying, I'm slim, I'm going to get slim next year.
In Jesus' name.
I'm gonna pray, I'm going to meditate a slim body. Manifest.
Yes.
You are not manifesting nothing without action. And I feel like people get that misconstrued. Like, yes, it's about mindset. Yes, it's about having faith. Yes, it's about manifestation. But there has to be action for the universe to come back to you. Otherwise, what are you going to do? Every action causes a reaction. Do you know what I mean? So I do think people struggle with action. We all struggle with action, if I'm being honest with you. I do
100%.
sometimes. Like,
that's why I'm not a gym babe.
I've recently become a gym babe.
You are a gym babe.
I know I'm a gym babe.
You are a gym babe.
Oh my gosh, I'm actually
I
a gym
like the
babe.
outfits.
My outfits at the gym?
In general. As in, like, I like general gym outfits.
Okay.
Wear.
Okay.
To wear.
I think you're talking about my gym outfits.
But your outfit's 10 out of 10.
Thanks,
Stop. Not just for the gym, girl.
We fly all day, every day.
I like gym outfits.
That's not good.
Wear them at home.
Okay, Lian.
Or town.
So basically, she likes leggings and crop tops.
Basically.
She'll wear on a casual day.
Yeah.
But she's not going to the gym.
Okay, good.
For the gym, for me, was also a mental health thing for me. Because it helped me to get focused. It gave me an opportunity to center myself. It gave me an opportunity to regain my equilibrium. Because my mind can be quite chaotic sometimes. And I do talk trash about myself sometimes. I do. Like, yeah, if I'm ovulated or I'm due on.
It's crazy.
Crazy in these streets. Us women are still facing adversity. We're facing adversity with these periods, y'all.
It's true.
Yo, it's a lot. Because that 1-2 week can change your mindset from being happy-go-Larry to negative Nigel.
Literally.
I ain't trying to be negative Nigel.
Yeah.
Sorry for all the Nigels out there. I ain't trying to be negative Nigel. I'm trying to be a positive Patty. Big up you, Patty. I'm trying to be a positive Patty. But the gym really helped me to get into a routine. I mean, I'm still carrying a little weight. Still carrying a little weight.
It's good weight.
It's good weight. But for me, it was just being able to do something, stick at it, and keep persevering. So it just has a knock-on effect on my mental health. And what I noticed is, when I stopped going gym, that week that we went to Portugal, and then the week that I came back, I didn't go to the gym, and then the week after that, I didn't go to the gym. So I probably had like 3 weeks of not going to the gym.
But you had an injury as well.
I did have an injury as well, but it affected my mental health. Not in a really, really, really bad way, but I wasn't focused. I wasn't doing the things that I needed to do. I was procrastinating. I wasn't motivated. Like, I had to get my ass back into the gym because I didn't realise how much of a drive it gave me for life. And life is hard sometimes, man. And sometimes you need something outside of that circumference for you to build on. Now, I be getting no gains. The gains be gaining. We lost a little weight.
Come on.
But for me now, it's a lifestyle change for my mental health. I'll still have my down days. We all have our down days.
Yep.
But as Beyonce says, I don't know if Beyonce said this, but you've got 24 hours to be down. After that 24 hours, you need to go up. Beyonce didn't say this.
I don't know who said it.
I don't know who said it.
I don't know who said it.
But someone said it.
Someone said it.
And I held on to that. So now, I take those days of 24 hours shut down, chilling in my yard, cooking a little mutton and rice, mac and cheese and veggie on the side, have a little wine, little brandy and coke. Like, I love that shit. I love it. I love it. So I do think 24 hours of depression, and then we need to just try and work it out. And also not worrying as well. I feel like some of that confidence stuff comes from worrying about what people
Absolutely.
think.
Or if it goes well.
If it goes well, if it doesn't go well. But I do think we're in a society now where it's like we really care about what people think.
Definitely.
And I feel like it's not until you get to like your 30s, your 40s, where you're like, Bunya, take me as I am.
Yeah.
It really is a age thing.
Yeah.
What can you kind of comment on people seeking validation from others or trying to do it for other people and not themselves?
I think it's natural. Everybody, like, if you look at from back in the day, Maslow hierarchy of need, all these philosophers that have spoken about the fact that people need affection, they need love, they need all these things. So I think that that's inbuilt in us to like want the validation of others and stuff like that. I just think if gaining that validation means that you kind of put aside the core of who you are, don't do it. If it's a thing that causes you to be negative or draws you away from the good that you're doing in your life, don't do it. Like, there's just certain things that I'm like, don't compromise on the core of who you are for affirmations from other people. If it's stuff that is like stretching you, even if it's uncomfortable, but you know it's for the good, that's the kind of thing you want to be, you know, doing to whatever. And also there's some people that will just affirm you because they just like you. Those are the people you want around you. So I just think there's different pockets of people you can get this affirmation from, as long as it is not costly in a negative way to you. If it is, you need to assess, do you really need the affirmation, like that you're essentially cleaning off yourself
To please someone else.
who actually doesn't care that much.
And there's also that kind of like thing of like comparing yourself to other people. It's a big thing at the moment.
It's natural.
Like comparing yourself to other people.
But comparison kills, they say.
Comparison kills. I believe that, because what you have, I don't have. What I have, you don't have. There's only one Melzy J. There's only one Melzy J. There's only one Melzy J. There's only one of me. But it still took me a minute to get there, you know, because I still probably compare myself, especially when I first got into the creative industry. Social media's popping off. I'm like, oh, I need to wear makeup. Oh, I need to dress like this. Oh, I need to post this. Oh, I need to post that. So I did have to go through a lot of growing to get where I am today, to be like, yo, take me how I am. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Lump it, love. You don't have to be around, love. Like, we don't need you over here. We want positive vibes. For someone that maybe is not as confident as us, doesn't have the power to speak up, what advice would you give them to make that first step?
I believe everyone has the power to speak up, first of all.
I love that.
Everybody. I think the ways in which we do that are different. And I think that's good. And I think, do you know what it is? There has to be something in you that's ready.
Ooh.
So you don't have to be 100% confident. You just have to be ready. So like when I say ready to try, ready to think.
Ready for love.
Ready to act. Ready to like, do you know what I mean? Like there has to be something that is ready, because if you're not ready to do the work, it's actually not going to happen at that moment in time. But if you're ready, crazy things can be achieved when you just say, I'm ready and I'm going to try.
And I feel like a lot of people probably are not ready. I think.
But I believe a lot of people are ready.
Do you think?
Yeah.
Or maybe they are ready.
They're probably not sick and tired, but they're ready.
Yeah. They might be ready in one way, but maybe in their mindset, they might not be ready to take that next step.
Yeah.
And obviously some people just stay in their situation as well. Yeah. Like some people don't want to be better versions of themselves.
That's fact. And that's okay.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
That is okay.
Yeah. But it's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. And you can't be upset for people that are confident, that are bossy about that, when they've worked so hard to get there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think
I don't know what you've been through to get to where you want. So I can't hate on you. I can't admire you or whatever, because for what you've had to go through to get to where you are, I should be celebrating you, actually. Likewise, people won't know what I've had to go through to get to where I am now. Celebrate me, bro. And if you don't, I'm going to celebrate myself anyways. It's fine. But it's better if you celebrate me. Let's celebrate each other. Like,
we think we need more of that.
And that'd be my 50.
Oh, let's go.
Evaluate and celebrate.
Oh.
So once you've done the action thing, sometimes it's going to have really worked well. Sometimes you're going to be like, ooh.
It's a bit nippy. It's a bit techie.
You learn either way. So what can you pick from that? What can you celebrate? What did I do? I tried. What did I do? I spoke to someone. They didn't love it, but I did it. Celebrate. That builds confidence.
It does. But shall I tell you what the problem sometimes is with celebrating? I think some of us struggle to celebrate ourselves because we're always focusing on the next thing.
Right.
This was something that I actually learned through therapy about celebration as well. Because I focus so much on the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. We're always focusing on the future. Sometimes we're not in the present.
Yeah.
And we forget about the past.
Yeah. I'm not one of those.
Problem.
Sometimes I wake up, I'm like, go me. I have a shadow, go me. Like,
I love that feeling.
I've probably gone to the other extreme because the last few years have been pretty hard. So when I do things, I do celebrate myself. And it is literally a little victory dance. Like, it's not much.
A little
But
shimmy.
literally, sometimes you got to shimmy. You just got to. And I think find healthy habits, rhythms. So there's some people that, you know, when they wake up in the morning, they do meditation, they go to the gym. You've already set rhythms in your life.
Yeah.
Set more, but ones that mean that you pause. So in your pause time, so when are you most relaxed and how can you reflect in that time? So whether that's asking yourself a few questions, and it could be the same questions that you ask yourself once a month. Take yourself for a coffee, for a dinner. Sit with your thoughts. Sit with I was going to say a pen and paper. I don't know if people do that. I do. I like that. Physically write stuff.
Love a little diary, me.
Write your diary. Bring your diary with you. Write down your thoughts. Answer those questions. How am I feeling? What have I achieved? What have I done well? Do you know what I mean? What could I learn from? Those kind of things. And just take stock. Reflect on it. That can be done 30 minutes, one day a month. It's not a massive thing. But if you don't make it a rhythm, you just won't do it. And you won't actually look back and think, look at all the things I've done. So make it a rhythm. Make it something that is important to do, just like yoga, just like meditation, prayer, whatever you do, build it in. Celebration is a part of your rhythm of life.
But do you feel like the routine side is more like mindset than it is celebrating? Because when you say celebrate, I'm thinking popping champagne.
You can do that if you want to.
I'm thinking
A celebration is acknowledgement of what you're doing.
holiday in the Maldives.
You can do that. And that's what I'm saying. Celebration looks different. By the end of the year, you could be saying, right, I've got 300 goals. By 100, I'm taking myself off to Dubai. So there's big things like that. And there's other things like, no, actually today, I know I want to have cheeky Chinese, cheeky Nando's. I want to do a nice little bath, some candles, whatever that looks like for you. That's
like a treat, isn't it?
A treat.
Okay.
But the celebration is acknowledging the things you've done. That's the celebration. It's highlighting them, making them a thing. And then you might attach that to an action, such as a bath or some chocolates or whatever your favorite thing is, you attach it to that.
And if anyone's out there that wants to celebrate me, talking about chocolates,
yes.
I like Ferrero Rochers, flowers, and chicken wings.
Yes. And me too. Love chicken wings.
What about if somebody is just not ready to do any of those 5 things, Lian? You know, I've come across so many people that are not there, that are, what's the word, like probably like involved in negative stuff that's going to jeopardize their life. And they're probably on the brink of life or death at the moment. How do you bring that person over to positive Patty if they're so dark, deep and negative, Nigel?
I think there's a couple of things. It is surrounding. It's nurture. That stuff has to be nurtured out of you. You can tell someone to stop. 9 times out of 10, they're not going to stop. So it's sitting with, it's listening, it's understanding, and then it's encouraging. Do you see people do well when they're encouraged? You see people do well when they're praised. You see people do well when they're affirmed, when they've got options, when they feel safe. So which one of these things can we put in place for that person? And also, I've come to it's going to sound really negative, but I'm just being honest. Can't help everybody.
Oh,
you can't help everybody.
You really can't help everybody.
You can have the intention.
I had to learn that.
You cannot help everybody. Everybody has to come to a decision for themselves. Nobody should be forced to do the things, whether good or bad, to do anything they don't want to do. So that's what I'm saying. There's a choice. Being confident, for example, is a choice. You choose to do things that could make you uncomfortable or could mean that someone, says, I don't actually want to talk to you, or whatever that looks like. you make a choice to still do it anyway. You make a choice to then do it again. It's all based on choices.
Based on choices.
Everybody has choice.
And I feel like the choices you make in life is how your life will end up, unfortunately to say it. We're all responsible for our own choices. Obviously, I understand certain people are put in certain situations that they can't get out of, or have put them in a vulnerable situation, but we still all have choices to change that mindset, choices to make a better life, choices to heal, choices to be a better version of yourself. And I've always been on the fence of, if I'm the same person as I was last year, that's a problem. It's a problem for me. I might not have developed in every single area of my life, but I need to be
some development.
There has to be some development. Because if you're in the same situation, you're going through the same trauma, you're having the same conversations, you're having the same arguments, the problem is probably you.
Well.
Who said that? Patti LaBelle?
I don't know.
Me neither. Probably isn't.
I don't know.
So I do feel like some people are ready, some people are not.
And that's okay.
And that's okay. But you do have to stick by the choices that you make. But you've got to be in the right mindset to make the right choices. This is the other thing. Because if you don't have the right mindset, that's when bad choices are normally made. Is when we are running from something. Yeah. We're not walking towards it and moving through it.
Racing.
Right? I'm trying to be like Moses. You know what I mean? I'm trying to walk through things so that I can be the strongest person possible. Do you get what I mean? But some people go the other way because it's hard. It's really, really hard.
Definitely.
So I do feel for people that maybe don't have that confidence. But we gonna make it make sense. And you gonna learn today. Because my girl's a coach. You can go book her. But I think sometimes it's about seeking the right help as well. Some people are not even willing to go and do therapy, go and do counselling. Go to the doctors, go and get a coach, go and get a checkup. Like, sometimes we just don't seek help. So if anyone's watching right today and you know you need help with something that's going to change your life or put you in a better situation, open up your mouth and ask.
Literally.
Because if you don't ask, you don't get. Closed mouths don't get fed. And I've always had an open mouth. My mouth.
We get it.
My mouth is open.
That's all right. It's very... So letting that go.
It's very important. It's very important. So if anyone is out there genuinely and you want help, you want support, talk to someone about it, open up, have that conversation with someone. There's a power in conversation. Like, there's always someone there to uplift you. There's always someone there that's got a better experience. Get yourself a mentor, get yourself a coach, do whatever it is that you need to do. We have to ask questions and be around people that are going to uplift us in the right way. I'm super, super excited for your coaching course that you're launching.
Thank you.
I'm so excited. Obviously, I know you've been doing it properly previously, but it's official. Please tell the audience where they can find you. Obviously, I know you've gone over what they expect from the coaching. What kind of people are you looking for? And
they have to be looking for me.
Oh, you have to be looking for me.
You will know whether you want me to coach you or not. We can have a consultation. But if you follow me on Instagram at Lian R Jacobs, that's Lian, Lian R Jacobs. And then if you want to send an email to someone on my team at info@lianrjacobs.com.
Thank you so much for being an amazing guest today.
It's been a
my little spiritual sissy. I love you so much. And yeah, it's been an amazing conversation. I definitely feel like this podcast, yes, guys, It's about the vibes. It's about the jokes. I'm going to crack a joke because I'm a bit of a joker.
Right.
But we want to be having real culture conversations, meaningful conversations where we can all learn, grow together, and make sense of this crazy world that we live in.
Right.
So if you want to see more episodes of Make Sense with Melzy, you can find us at Make Sense with Melzy on Instagram and anywhere where you listen to all of your other podcasts. And that's it for today's episode. See you soon. Bye.